it's Neelufar Gibson with Honest Mom, and today we're going to talk about how to find that perfect nanny for your child. But first, make sure you like and subscribe. Okay, you guys, today I want to be real with you guys. That's what this channel is all about. I'm going to tell you our experience of how we found our nanny, and hopefully it'll help you in your process. So first of all, I want to say, starting this process gave me a lot of anxiety. I actually had some mini panic attacks. I was crying a lot. It took me a lot to kind of like understand the concept that someone else is going to take care of my child, someone that I don't know. So that gave me a lot of anxiety, and that was really hard for me, really hard. And like, even when I thought about it, I would just like have this pain in my chest. It was not fun at all. So, but my husband was really supportive of my feelings and my emotions and said, we're just going to go really slow with this process. We're going to take it in, and we're not going to just jump in and hire someone and go from there. So, and that's kind of what I want to talk about here, is kind of like the steps that we took to get to where we are to have our nanny now. So the first thing you want to do is come up with a list, like a Mary Poppins, which by the way is my favorite movie. It is. You know, the kids came up with a silly list and the dad came up with a practical list, but you do want to come up with a list of criteria of what you're looking for in a nanny. And, you know, things that are important to you, if they're vaccinated, if they're CPR certified, if they, you know, educated, you know, these kind of things. And so what you want to do is create that list. So you know what you're looking for, how many days a week, how many hours, these kind of things. And then you want to see, like, where do I find a nanny? Well, you want to start with your friends and family. They're probably like a really good resource because it's personal. References are always great. They may know somebody, so start there. Then you can go try a site like care.com. That's what we did. That's a really great site because I think you pay like a membership fee on it, and then you have access to background checks. You can see their resume, their picture, their education, when they're available, and I mean, it has so much information. And then you can filter your search down by distance, by gender, by education, by experience. I mean, it's a really great site. We had a good experience with care.com. So, and then what you want to do is you can actually create an application, like a job application, a posting on care.com. And you really want to, when you do this, you want to make sure it really stands out. So make sure that you just, you know, just tell your story of who you are and who your son is, how old he is or she is, and what you're looking for, how many days a week, how many hours, and the pay. It's really important just to be as detailed as possible, and you want to post that. And so while you're waiting for friends and family to give you a list and for people to apply for your, you know, job posting for a nanny, you can start doing your search on care.com and look for, you can go through it and just maybe don't overwhelm yourself with like a big list. Maybe you favor like, you know, 10 to 20, but then out of that 20, you get 10 that you want to narrow down to, that you look through that list and say, okay, out of these 10, let me contact them. Because that's the next step, is that you want to contact them to ask them some of the big questions and confirm the job posting, and you want to confirm, you know, their availability and things like that. And so through email or text message or direct message on the site, you want to ask these big questions and confirm everything. Because like for us, for example, even though we said we need someone that's like fully vaccinated, like maybe 5 out of the 10 people that we like wanted to bring in for an interview said, oh, I'm not vaccinated. It's like, so they don't sometimes read the whole application. They just kind of, I think, click saying, oh yeah, I'm available, without reading what we're looking for. So you want to kind of confirm those details before you move on. So once you have your potentials that you want to, hey, these sound good on paper, now I want to kind of conduct an interview. So you want to conduct a Zoom or a FaceTime interview, and come prepared with some questions. And I'll try to link below here some of the questions that we use, and you can use those as well. But also you want to come up with your personal questions that are like specific to your child and your home, in your home setting and your routine. So for us, we came up with some questions. You could go through those questions to the Zoom call, and then that's kind of like a screening call. And if you're like, hey, out of like, you know, you want to come up with 2 or 3. You don't want to have too many. 2 or 3 out of that group that you want to, next step is to bring him in for in-person interview. And that's really the big thing, because in this interview, your child will be conducting the interview. You want to see how they interact with the nanny and how the nanny interacts with them and how they interact with you in person. Because sometimes on, you know, on the FaceTime, it might go great, but then in person, you don't vibe with them, or vice versa. On the FaceTime, it's kind of like blah, but then in person, they're great. So, so you want to bring them in, see how they interact, spend like maybe 30, 45 minutes with them, and really just try to see how they are with your child and how your child is with them. Show them around your home, kind of, you know, give them a little sneak peek of what goes on and how, you know, how your child's day is. I said Riker, but Riker's day is. And then after that, you're like, hey, this seems good. Then you bring him in for a trial period. So again, really slow steps. And so we brought our nanny in for a trial period of like 3 or 4 weeks, where they're kind of supervised, we're around, and you kind of see, you start to build kind of a relationship with this person. They start building a relationship with your child. Your child builds a relationship with them, and you kind of can see how it's going and see if it works out. And if it works out great, then you go to the next step, which is you make it more final and you create a contract. And it's really important to create a contract where you list everything out, like everything that you are expecting for them to do. Don't ever assume that like, hey, they will clean up after they play in the playroom. No, write that down. Clean up playroom, you know, prepare a meal, you know, arrive on time, you know, things like that. Your expectations. It's an agreement. It's a contract between both of you. You know, if you get COVID, make sure you let us know, don't come here, you know, things like that. And then you kind of go from there, and hopefully it works out. And then if it doesn't, you always want to have that silver medalist in the back pocket. So say you had 2 potentials that came for the in-person, they were both great, but one was a little better than the other one. You're just like, I want this person, but say that person, it just, during the trial period, it just didn't work out. It just didn't work out. And so now you have a backup. Always have a backup. It's really important. So that's kind of like the base like steps, like really easy. Again, you know, ask friends and family, go to a reputable site, you know, to find the nanny, bring him in for, you know, do a FaceTime interview, do a in-person interview, trial period, and then finalize. And again, during this all these steps, it takes time, and be patient with yourself. Be patient with the process. For us, we were discouraged after the first 2 weeks. We had nobody. It was like crickets. No one was applying for the job. There was nobody out there. Everything was like, ugh. And then it started picking up. So just be really patient. I know it can be really frustrating when you're just like trying to find help and there's no help. So just be patient and you'll find the right person. And we did. We're really, really happy and lucky that we found our Mary Poppins. She is wonderful. She is unfortunately only available for the weekends. We did have another nanny that was during the weekday. We had her for a couple of months, but unfortunately she started grad school and she's no longer with us. And I was so sad. Like, I seriously cried. I really did cry, because we had just become like, started this trust with each other with Riker, and then she was like, I have to go to grad school, which I'm so happy for her, but I'm so bummed because she was so good. She was a behavioral therapist. I learned so much from her, and Riker learned so much from her, and it was just such a good relationship. But I don't know, maybe she'll come back. She just started school, so she doesn't know her schedule yet, but we're happy we have our weekend nanny. It gives us date nights, which is so awesome. We've been loving it. We've been having so much fun just connecting again with each other, like we're dating again. My anxiety level definitely dropped once we found the right person, and I see how happy Riker is and how happy we are, and how I was able to have more time for myself. And again, Riker was learning so much from the nannies, and it's been wonderful, and I'm really happy now. But a few months ago, I guess when we started, like maybe it was 6 months ago, I was in a different place. I was just not happy at all. I was so anxious about this. But so those are kind of the steps, you guys. I hope that helps you guys. Any moms and dads out there, again, be patient with yourself, be patient with the process. because this is someone that, you know, you have to trust with your child. And I know it's a lot. For me, it was a lot to handle, but you're gonna find that perfect person. Mary Poppins for you. So if you guys like these types of videos, make sure you like and subscribe, because I like to always experience and talk to you guys about my experience, the honest experience, the real truth of how it goes, and what's going on in mom life, parent life, you know, and share it with you guys. I want to create that community here. So make some comments below if you guys have other suggestions of how to find a nanny or your experience. I'd love to hear from you guys. You know, how did it go? Do you have any like good stories, horror stories? I mean, I want to hear it all. But I want to say that having a nanny has been wonderful, and I love it, and it's great because I feel like our weekend nanny, I feel like she could be part of our family forever. I mean, not forever, but you know what I mean? Like just in our life forever. Like, you know, even once Riker grows up, like she'll just be part of our family, and I hope for that. And I wish that she was available all the time, but she has another family, and at least she's here for our weekends, which gives us time to connect again. And Riker can have some time with someone else besides mommy and daddy, which he sees every day, which he gets bored, honestly. So I hope this helps you guys. I hope you have a great day and a great week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.